I'm very pleased to be here this evening and to have been invited to this very special location for this very special occasion. I acknowledge in our presence the Mayor of Port of Spain, Councillor Karen Valentine, and Deputy Mayor Asher Permanent is here with us this evening too. The Minister of Community Development, Culture and the Arts, who some people call the Minister of Panchinbago. My friend and colleague, the Member of Parliament for Laventille West, Minister of Works and Transport, Mr. Fitzgerald Hinds. Member of Parliament for Laventille East Morva, Mr. Adrian Leonce. Our very many councillors, Laventille councillors and visiting councillors all. President of Panchinbago, Mr. Keith Diaz. And I would especially like to acknowledge the managers of the three bands of Panchin. We have the manager of Whitcoe Desperadoes, Mr. Curtis Edwards. He was here a little while ago. The band, the champion band in the steel band land. The band that came second in the medium division, Mr. Richard Forto's band, that's Courts Laventille Sound Specialists. And the band that came third in the small band division, is that the way around? All right. Serenaders was second, and Courts was third. Okay, 1, 2, 3, but Desperadoes is champion. All right, Desperadoes, cool it. As a member of Invaders for over 40 years, I want to acknowledge Invaders. I always keep that one in my back pocket, right? I've been a member of Invaders since 1970. So this evening we want to thank Invaders very much for coming to Laventille to celebrate with the Laventille bands this tremendous result in last Panorama, last Carnival season. We take these things for granted in Trinidad and Tobago, but hopefully a time will come when we would realize how monumental such developments are, and hopefully we'll identify with them in such a way as to create growth and positivity. You know, many people know the Beatles more than they know England. The Beatles came out of Liverpool. 4 boys, 4 young men, and they took the world by storm and raised the English flag in such a way that you might forget England, but you can never forget the Beatles. The Bee Gees came out of Australia. Again, small handful of young people making music, putting Australia on the map. Sergio Mendes and the Brazil 66 came out of Brazil, and for years, whenever you think Brazil, you think of that band. And of course, Elvis Presley came out of Memphis with a guitar. And you could never forget Elvis Presley in the area of music. You could never forget Desperadoes and the steel band pioneers and steel band music in Trinidad and Tobago. But one of the earlier speakers spoke about Laventille and Laventille's dilemma. Whenever you speak of Laventille, there was always this entry of a dilemma that people focus on the negatives of Laventille, and Laventille has so much more than the negatives. Let us tonight acknowledge the positives. We're one small area in our country. In this, what we call our national music, played on our national instruments, which portray and project us in a way that almost nothing else does. Remember the famous Calypso? You think you could go in Cuba and say we have sugar? Cuba have more sugar than Trinidad? Well, you think you could go anywhere and talk about steel band and not acknowledge Trinidad and Tobago? The uniqueness of this instrument has not yet been put to work for the nation of Trinidad and Tobago. I looked at the papers, I think it was yesterday or possibly today, and I saw a small group of steel band players winning 5 prizes in a festival in Florida and being cheered in a way that puts us into that crowd in a way that nothing that the TDC has done could have done that to us. When a steel band goes abroad and performs and gets publicized, people get interested to want to know where this has come from. And you know what? Maybe I want to visit that place. That's how tourists think. They want to go to Jamaica because they want to know where Usain Bolt come from, to talk to the people who Usain Bolt know. They want to go to Usain Bolt's country. That's how the steel band can be used for Trinidad and Tobago. And as we go forward in this particular era, where the price of oil is not what it used to be, and the price of gas is not what it used to be, and the Minister of Finance doesn't have what he used to have, the time has come for us to put everything available to us to be a revenue earner in Trinidad and Tobago, and the steel band movement is going to be put to work in that way. So one of the things that we intend to do, and we are doing now very actively at the level of the cabinet, and I chair a subcommittee of the cabinet on tourism, is to make a quantum leap in the area of tourism. And if we do that, we will not be able to do it without the full use of the steel band movement. Because it's one of the resources that we have that we could use to promote ourselves in the marketplace to attract tourists to Trinidad and Tobago. And there's not a single tourist that comes to this country that spends Trinidad and Tobago dollars. Whatever they spend, whether it's a backpack tourist or a long stay high-end tourist, they spend foreign currency. And we are desperately in need of plans and programs to attract foreign currency to Trinidad and Tobago. We are going to put the steel bands to work to promote Trinidad and Tobago abroad in the marketplaces. We're going to put steel bands to play in the market squares in Europe and in America, so that people can ask, who are these people? What are they playing? Where are they from? And end up by saying, I want to go there. I want to see those people. And of course, one of the aspects of the steel band resource that has fallen apart, and I'll say this Trinbago tonight, we need to do things every month, every day, every week of the year. And that steel band music festival that we used to have ought to be had to become a program, so that somebody could plan this year to come next year. And when you come to Trinidad and Tobago, you come for the music festival. And I want to say something else about Trinbago. You see this competition that's going on among steel bands? It has outlived its usefulness. I refuse to believe that 5 judges could spend a day and a night and the next day, and at the end of the day, tell me that I beat you by half a point. Absolute nonsense. When we come together, it must be a recognition that every band that goes on that stage is a champion band. Last October, I went back to my primary school in Mason Hall. Primary school. And the highlight of the welcome in that primary school was a primary school steel band playing to welcome me back to my school. And they were almost as good as Desperadoes. But I know, those of us in Invaders, we know, whenever we come 7th, we win the Panorama. Because the first 6 positions reserved. Despas, All Stars, Phase 2, Exodus. Well, Exodus come to grief this year. So whenever we come 7th in Invaders, we know we win. But seriously, we can't pick places. I mean, we have to create another environment where bands come and play. And another thing too, the arrangers must be free to arrange and give us new music. They must be there to please judges and play what the judges want. And after a while, you can't tell who is who. No, give them that freedom. That absolute freedom to create music, to let the steel band rise. And if we do these things, Trinidad and Tobago will really be known to the rest of the world as a place you want to go. There should not be a month in this country where there isn't something going on involving the steel band. So that visitors that come to the country have a very good chance of having a night out in a comfortable environment, experiencing the steel band. And when they go home where they came from, what do? They talk to their friends and neighbors about the experience they had. And then what happens? They want to come too. And this is not like long time, you know. We still behave in the long time way, paying people abroad big money to promote Trinidad and Tobago. They get a fat check every month. Promote what? Down to a good system that pays them well, unbeknownst to you. But promoting what? This is the age of the internet. This is the age of promoting your own product on an individual basis. This is the age of promoting Pan Trinbago and promoting the steel band movement in a way that we could never have dreamt of 15 years ago. Let's use that. Pan Trinbago and the steel band movement needs an arrangement where there are people, there are young people, bright, shining, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, wanting to go, should be on the internet promoting the steel band. And when the cruise ships come here, in the daytime they come, they don't come at nights. There should be steel band music available in the daytime. They don't stay there long, but one of the things that should be available to them in the city of Port of Spain should be a place where they can go and experience a steel band playing with us for half an hour thereabouts. Those things will bring foreign exchange. But where is that place? I don't know. But we can make that place available. We can make it available. And if we make that place available, and when we spend money to make that place available, I'm not listening to anybody who's complaining, we complain too much in this country, we complain enough in this country, let's do it. Time to do it. And tonight, something happened that I didn't expect. I didn't expect the head of Pan Trinbago to ask you to stand to welcome me to Laventille. Because to me, in case you don't know, Laventille is home. Laventille is home. I'm going to be Prime Minister today. That's only a job. But when I came from Tobago as a little boy, I landed feet first in the hills in Laventille because my mother lived in Laventille. So I've known Laventille since I was a little boy, walking around these hills in Laventille for vacation. And then when I was a little older, I ended up living in Morvant. I live in Coconut Drive, in my mother's house in Coconut Drive, number 12 Cosmos Street. I lived there with my mother for a while. And Laventille people are about the most resilient people in Trinidad and Tobago. And that resilience shows itself in how much you're still alive and vibrant in the face of all the adversity you face. And I don't know how many banks have mortgages in Laventille. But look how many houses there are in Laventille. And I suspect that many of you own them and built them with your own hands. That is the resilience, that's the strength of character. That if circumstances try to beat you down, you draw on those strengths. Draw on your strength as pioneers and defenders of the flame of the steel band movement. Draw on those young people who come out of such adversity and such discrimination, a word you don't hear normally used in defense of Laventille. But it exists because there are people in this country, some of them exemplars in this country, and you tell them that you're from Laventille and you automatically disqualify yourself because you stereotype. Unfortunately, the origin of that is as a result of the behavior of a small number of Laventille people who make life so difficult for the others. Today, there are places in Laventille where the delivery truck doesn't want to go. I was hearing last week that some people in Laventille can't get gas because the gas truck doesn't want to go up the hill because of the behavior of some young people in the area. At the end of the day, I can say something to you. You have a prime minister in office who knows what it is to come home and meet nothing to eat. You have a prime minister in office who knows what it is for the parent to have given you the last dollar to get you where you want to go. You have a prime minister in office who knows that the values that a child should inculcate start with values in the home, and the greatest responsibility of a parent is to a child. And at the end of the day, the government's role is not to replace you with yourself. There's a role for the government. I'll say to you tonight, we in this government will do what can be done, not for the individual. Because there are many individuals who come to us and say, I want this and I want that, and by the way, I vote for you. That might be so, and we're thankful for the vote and we're thankful for the support, but at the end of the day, we're going to address this problem by dealing with the community, doing what is right for the community. And if there is crime in the community, we have to protect the community by putting in those whose job it is to treat with crime to protect the community. And if, as I am told, that there are schools in the area which are underpopulated because parents are no longer trusting the system and are taking their children out of the area and putting them in schools elsewhere, the government has a duty to come back in the community and make your school a school that will attract the community. And if there are resources to be made available to you, as there are resources to be made available to you, to allow you to do certain things, then those resources will come to you for the community. And one of the things that the government will not encourage is an attempt to provide resources for the community and have those communities deprived of those resources because of the behavior of a minority. The government's role and responsibility in your peculiar circumstance is to the community. Tonight, I want to specially acknowledge the sponsors who stood by your bands in Laventille. The sponsors. Your sponsors could easily have joined the crowd of stereotypical and those who stereotype and abandon you. What is Desperadoes without Whitco? And Courts doing a job with Laventille. And there's the unsponsored Serenaders that I'll make every effort from my office to get Serenaders as a sponsor. And I'll do something else too. We recognize Laventille. Somebody said Laventille is a hellhole. They've called me worse than that. I think I'm one hell of a man. But people have called me all kinds of things. It's not what they call you, it's how you feel about yourself. But you see, Laventille is the high suburbs of Port of Spain. Laventille is a suburb of Port of Spain. There are some things that you can't do in Laventille. can't put big farms in Laventille. You can grow a tomato in a bucket. You can grow some lettuce in a pan. But you can't be a farmer in Laventille. But you can service a city. And something that this government is embarking upon that will affect Laventille positively is to breathe life into the city of Port of Spain. Because if you are a residential suburb of the city of Port of Spain, if Port of Spain does well, then Laventille will do well. Creating opportunities for the people of Laventille. Your opportunities are not to be confined to the hills of Laventille, but to the city of Port of Spain and to Trinidad and Tobago as a whole. The city of Port of Spain right now, when you look at the numbers in the city, the number of people who live in the city have been declining considerably. We want to encourage back in the city of Port of Spain residential occupation. We want to encourage business back into Port of Spain. These are things that the government can encourage. And if we are successful in doing that, then we create employment opportunities and business opportunities for the people of Laventille. So when I say our response is not to give you the individual this and give you the individual that, but to give the wider community, I'm talking about national policy. And that is why there's a Minister of Housing and Urban Development. We will set about to spend money, what little we have, and use the private sector money for urban renewal in Port of Spain. We expect that jobs will be created, and we expect that your young men and young women will seek jobs when jobs are available. Because somebody has told some people that somebody will hire you because you want a job. No, sir. They hire you because they want you to do something for them. And if jobs are available, then please go get them and not leave them to others. And then, of course, when that happens and the city life grows and develops, then the true Laventille, as we used to know it, will come back to us. When I lived in Mova, the champion steel band in those days was Solo Harmonites. And I remember walking with Solo Harmonites from Panyard to Panorama, and Tuesday night, walking back from Port of Spain, walk back with the band, right back to the Banyard before I come home in Mova. And there was no talk about crime. Told you before, I used to have a girlfriend in Second Caledonia. And I used to walk from Mova to Second Caledonia, back and forth, night and day, unafraid to walk my streets. Lived down there in Mova. The last thing on my mind was crime. Never Dirty was a place to go online. And of course, over in Pelican Street, that's where you were on Sunday mornings. The bars, the cinema. We had a cinema in Mova. We had a community. What has happened since when did we become afraid of ourselves and our streets? We will take back those streets. We'll create community areas. And we'll encourage our people, our young people, to respect their elders and to love their community and to defy those who stereotype you. Those are the yardsticks by which we'll measure success in Laventille. Not by how much I give you because you vote for me. It's by how much your community is a place where you have a quality of life that you can be proud of, and that your children and grandchildren can grow up in that community and claim it as their own. Those are the targets. I have some young MPs with me, Mr. Hinds, the Minister of Community Development and Culture and the Arts. You have a young mayor of Port of Spain, because I'm placing a lot of store on the young people in Trinidad and Tobago. The young people, the future is theirs, and we have to give them room. Member of Parliament for Laventille East Mova, I want to congratulate this young man. You see, we went into an election, and we won an election. And everybody expects to be a minister, even though many of them have no idea what a minister's job is. And this young man was not offered a portfolio. He was offered a responsibility to represent the people of Laventille East Mova. And I have not heard a murmur from him except that he wants to represent the people of Laventille East Mova. Because you see, We have been spoilt in very many ways, to the point where everybody who gets sent to Parliament expects to be a minister. And when a young man comes in and doesn't join that, and expects to do the job he was sent to do, which is to represent the people, maybe one day he'll be a minister. But in the meantime, he has been a wonderful young find in Laventille East Mover. I want to congratulate him. And I want to give you all the assurance that even as the Minister of Finance is under tremendous pressure to meet the payments that have to be made, we will find some resources to encourage the steel band movement. We will find some resources to improve your community. And all we can ask of Laventille, whoever you are, man or woman, child or adult, for God's sake, let's do this together.